You're listening to littlepodcast.com.
Why you gotta take it there?
Retake. This isn't gonna work.
We're not talking about any integrity.
We are trying to exploit a generation.
Ever tell you about that time when I paid for Chinese food with the DVD? The grease is the gravy.
You guys played footsie under the table.
Yes, but that's irrelevant. I can smell Pepto-Bismol from here. It tastes like an antacid tablet. Why are there so many Draculas everywhere? No, vampires.
Welcome to Born in the 80s, episode 135. I'm your host, John Rowe, joined by my co-host,
Adam Hamm.
That's right, Adam Hamm, in the his house.
Yeah.
In the Illinois.
Oh, yeah. On the chaise lounge.
On the chaise lounge. That's right, with your new recording setup, which people have heard now, and it sounds good.
Good.
All right, so topics.
Yes.
Adam, you last time we recorded on a Friday, which is not always typical, but atypical somewhat. I don't know, because you went on a work trip.
I did. I went on a work trip to Indianapolis.
Oh, the beautiful metropolis
Yeah.
of Indianapolis. So you go from one super boring college town to a slightly larger boring college town.
It's a lot larger, but yeah.
How big is Indy?
I have no idea. I know it's much bigger than Bloomington. Because it's a real town that has like lots of...
Oh, shit. Suck
highways
on
and
that,
interstates.
Bloomington.
No, it's...
It's a real town.
it's a real big city.
How many peeps are in Bloom?
Between both of them, Bloomington and Normal.
Bloomington and Normal. They're two cities, like yin and yang, smashed together.
Maybe like 150,000 to 200 somewhere. Well, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure.
You don't even know.
Not really. I think it's over 100,000 unless 200,000. I think it's a little over 150, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Madison is like
250, right?
What?
250?
It's more like 290 now.
Yeah.
And that doesn't include Middleton and Fitchburg and Verona and all these.
Wow.
Well, Verona's not really adjacent, but Middleton and Fitchburg are, and Monona.
Yeah.
And they're all basically connected and within like a 20 or 10 mile radius, so it's like they kind of count.
Yeah.
It's like 500,000 in the major metropolitan area, so
yeah,
it's pretty big.
Yeah, definitely.
Big enough.
And I think Indianapolis is bigger than Madison too. So
yeah,
it's
big ups.
It is.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so how was the work trip? How does a work trip work for you? Did you have to do your own transpo? Did you get reimbursed?
I did my own transpo for certain reasons because I was actually going to visit my dad as well. So it was about an hour away from Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So.
Did he force the shave and a haircut?
No. I got it. It was my idea.
But before you visited though, or after?
No, while I visited actually.
Oh, okay.
I got there and I said I kind of want to get a haircut and shave. And he said, yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Before the conference?
Yeah, well, it wasn't really a conference. I mean, there was like 8 of us.
What did you present on?
I didn't present anything. It was a training trip.
For you had to go to Indy to get trained.
For HDI certification.
I don't even know what that is.
HDI is the Help Desk Institute, and I was getting their Support Center Analyst certification training.
Is that the program that you guys use at your place of business?
That's what we use to look better. I guess.
So you had to get trained.
So we have
had to go to Indy.
HDI certification next to our names. Yeah, HDI certified.
Oh, that's always good. Gotta love those meaningless training things you have to go to get a little official certification that is not really useful because you're already technically pretty well trained in it because you use it.
I've only done it for 6 years, so
now you're official.
Right.
Now you're official.
How
was Indy? The metropolis.
Indy was
the sights, the sounds.
Indy was cool. I didn't actually spend a whole lot of time in Indy. I spent a lot of time inside the Marriott Hotel in Indy.
Did you get to stay in a hotel there, or what?
I didn't because I stayed with my dad. But had I don't actually know if they So the way they did it for this kind of stuff for us is, there's only one other guy going with me, and he actually got a state car, like a university car.
Nice.
In the fleet to take. I just
fucking hotbox that shit.
Yeah.
Whip a couple donies in the parking lot. That's fucking company property, baby.
Yeah. I didn't go with him. I took my own because.
Oh, you guys could have road trip.
Because I was staying with my dad, so.
I
needed my own.
How did you keep yourself amused on the car ride? Because you don't own a pair of headphones.
I don't. I took my phone and I had.
You have a USB headset.
I do.
Why do you not have a pair of headphones?
Because I don't like those.
They're like $20 for a nice pair.
I don't like headphone jacks. I've had bad experiences with them. Do you remember the?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. You want to talk about that moment?
We can if you want.
Oh, we should. So Adam's old MacBook Pro.
No, it was before that. It was
just a MacBook.
Yeah, it was. I think it was just a MacBook.
There was nothing professional about that.
No.
Piece of.
It was
equipment.
a MacBook G4, I think.
Okay. Which was the shiznaz in like 2003.
It was totally the shiznaz. Yeah, so I got it as a graduation present.
Nice.
To take to college with me and all that jazz. And we used it on occasion to watch. Was it like Naruto that we were watching? We had like
some anime.
We downloaded some anime on it, and
at my parents' house.
Yeah.
Bleach, I think it was.
Maybe it could be, but I bought like just one of those headphone to headphone jacks because we could
from Radio Shack
because we could use like an S video at the time. That's all they had. We had was like S video.
Yeah, this was back.
It was back in the day. It was before HDMI.
My parents' Sony Wega 36-inch CRT television.
Exactly.
In the basement.
So yeah, we had the S video out, but we needed sound. So I had like a headphone jack to headphone jack.
Because you don't want the laptop speakers.
Yeah, you don't want that. Actually, I guess I needed a converter. I had a headphone jack.
Yeah, you needed a converter.
To like red and white.
Yep, to composite.
Yeah,
out.
But anyways, what happened at one point was I was trying to lift up the computer or did something, and it put pressure on the jack, but
now this was minimal.
It was
pressure.
it was not like I yanked it or there was.
This was literally like moving it,
just like moving it not very far, and instead of feeling any resistance at all, the fucking jack just snaps off inside the 3.5 millimeter jack.
Yeah.
So this, of course, was a perfect storm of shit because not only did it stick inside there and it's hard to get out. So not only could I not plug something in there, but also the system, the hardware is hardware set. The firmware decides that if there's something in there, then it automatically routes the audio out there. So
Mac computers, gentlemen.
So it probably would have been the same for a Windows computer too. I don't know.
Not really. Well, not with Windows 7
I was going to say this is back in the day, but
because I know with Windows 7 you can choose different audio outputs. So if your headphone jack doesn't work, there's usually a motherboard one as well that you can choose to use.
Well, either way, in this case, it cut off all audio to the speakers too because it sensed that there was something in the port, and it should automatically route out to the headphones.
So this literally silenced your computer.
It did. It made it completely silent. No sound could be heard on it from thenceforth. I tried so much shit to get that thing out of there. I tried all kinds of things.
Yeah, didn't you take it to a watchmaker?
Yeah, he even tried drilling the fucker out. It did not
with
work.
His watch tools.
Yeah, exactly. It was a shitstorm of crap.
It was not possible.
Yeah, and other than that, it was a great computer, but
not when I used it.
No, not when you used it. You used it much later when it was.
I think I borrowed it in 2008, 2009 to take to D&D sessions when my laptop broke.
Yeah.
And that thing was slow.
It was extremely slow at that point. It was
That's how computers.
It was 1 gigahertz, which in 2003 was the shit, but for a laptop. But it was at that point.
Now your phone is 2 gigahertz.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's like dual core too.
I know.
Ridiculous.
That's insane. The world of technology.
Yeah, but God, the thing was, I only had that for a year before that happened too.
So was this indie conference not conference, training? Was it super boring or like ridiculously boring?
It was only super boring because we had a cool kind of coach guy, actually. So
you had a cool teacher?
Yeah.
Cool like the teacher from a sitcom that's like, all right, now everybody, look to your left.
Dude,
look to your
this
right.
guy was amazing.
You'll all be certified.
His name is Mark Rabinowitz. And he started out, he did 10 years as a cop in New York. He came from New York.
He's a New York cop?
He's like a Jewish New York cop who came from a cop family where his dad was a cop, his brother was a cop, his uncle was a cop. Like,
my dad was a cop, my brother was a cop, and I'm a software engineer.
He was a cop for 10 years.
What? That's true.
Before retiring. And yeah.
Wait, did he retire or was he too reckless?
No, he wasn't.
Was he too hot?
He wasn't too reckless.
You're too reckless, damn it!
But he did say that
blew up that food cart.
He did say that spending 10 years as a New York cop made him the perfectly trained for customer service.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. People under, really strained situations wanting things done.
Yeah. That's the life. Mm-hmm. So that was indie? Nothing special happened?
Nothing too crazy.
Didn't visit any Indianapolis eateries that were unique?
First day we had lunch at the Bar of Champions, which is the hotel bar, which was okay.
The Bar of Champions?
Yeah.
Is that because of the football team? I'm assuming.
I have no idea.
Well, they won championships, so.
Oh, well, probably then.
At some point.
I guess. And the second day, I went to like Noodles and Company, so.
Nothing exciting, huh?
No, nothing really exciting.
Well,
I did, though, on the trip, to ease the boredom, I had my phone, and I didn't have headphones, but I bought, on the way, a headphone jack-to-jack thing, because my USB will hook up to my car, but it doesn't really play stuff that well through it. So I did get a jack-to-jack thing that hooked into the auxiliary in my car, and I spent the entire time listening to an audiobook from Audible, Ready Player One.
audibletrial.com/littlepodcast.
Indeed. I used it.
So,
I did.
Ready Player One.
Yep, I got it free.
Good for you.
Yep, and it was excellent.
Isn't that book excellent?
It is excellent. It is so good that, like, I listened to it on the way there, and I listened to it driving back and forth from my dad's to Indianapolis both days.
Yeah.
I listened to it on the way back, and when I was, by that amount of time, I spent enough hours in the car listening to it that I had, like, 3 hours left until it was done.
Yeah.
And they are awesome hours. So I got home, and I just fucking listened to it. Didn't watch TV or anything. I just, like, sat in a fucking chair and listened to the end of that book.
That's kind of how it worked for me, too. I got so far in that book where I just kind of went home and laid in bed and, like, listened to the ending because it's pretty climactic all the way down to the wire. So that book is Ernest Cline. He wrote that book. Oh, God. What was it? 2011.
Yeah, 2011.
Yeah, and the audiobook's narrated by Will Wheaton.
Yes, which I love. Who
people may know. He did a really good job, too, actually.
He did.
Because he kind of plays a little bit of, the main character is a bit of a pop culture nerd.
Yeah.
Specifically, 1980s pop culture.
I know.
So the plot of the book is 2045. The world is terribly awful, it's kind of a little dystopian.
Yeah, it's a dystopian future.
But there's an online MMO, virtual reality, kind of like Second Life, honestly, where you kind of build your own infinite worlds of everything, and called Oasis. And the guy that created it was huge into the 80s because he had, I guess, grown up in the 80s, and then he was the creator of the game, and he kind of is this figure who was distant, I guess. I'm trying to think of the word. Like a recluse.
Yeah.
But he built this game, and it's just full of like Easter eggs, chock full of 1980s like references, like old arcade games, Zork, was it
Joust,
Schoolhouse Rock, rhyming.
Yes. I almost shit my pants when there was a Short Circuit reference in there.
Yeah, there's a short. I mean, there is literally.
I know
everything in there.
There was only one thing I could think of that was not mentioned that I wish had been, and that is Labyrinth. Labyrinth was not mentioned, unfortunately.
Quite a bit in there. Monty Python, the Holy Grail. I mean, like it's just all this nerdy stuff from the 80s is in the book.
D&D stuff.
And the whole idea is this guy died, and he said he hid an Easter egg in the game where if you find the egg, then you get to be the person who runs the company that runs the most successful game of all time. That like is Second Life for everybody in the world, basically.
Yeah.
So you
get $240 billion. Or something.
Some crazy amount. So like, there's this kid who's lives in a trailer park and kind of a shitty life, but
it would be like if Bill Gates died, basically.
Yeah.
And made some kind of contest.
Yeah. So the main character is like this kid who lives kind of a shitty life because his parents are both dead, and he's being like kept by an aunt who's using him as like a paycheck, basically, and it's terrible. But he's like way into all this 1980s pop culture because he's an egg hunter, known as a gunter, and he, just spends the night watching reruns of Family Ties and playing Pac-Man and just getting into the 80s spirit of things. And, and so he's able to, first start cracking the code for this, and then it becomes a desperate race against an evil corporation that is trying to win the game as well, so they can have the company. And it's just awesome. I don't know how to describe it.
I feel like this book was like written for me, basically.
Oh, I know, exactly. Same here. I mean, it's just nerd references.
It is. I had like a weird meta moment when he mentions that like they had the vote for presidency inside the Oasis, and like the people that he was voting for that had been like running it for like the last 8 years were Will Wheaton and Cory Doctorow. Mm-hmm. So he was like actually narrating himself in the book.
Was narrating.
Just funny.
Yeah, and so love the book though, and I think it did pretty well. I guess people seem to have liked it. Yeah. I liked it. If you're into geek stuff, it's just fun. It's a good adventure,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Warner Brothers bought the rights to the film.
Yeah, I know. That could be amazing or horrible.
I don't think there's any way they could ever make this into a movie. There's too many references to too many things.
That's the problem with licensing.
They won't be able to license anything. And the whole key to the charm of it is the licensed stuff.
Right.
It's the fact that like during this like journey to find this Easter egg, he's going to like the set from Blade Runner. You know, and he's going to like Rush's album 2112. Like it's just like there's no way they can get all of this. There's parts with Monty Python and the Holy Grail that they'll have to show the actual film.
Right.
So I don't know how they could ever do it.
It would be really hard to do.
It would be hard. I mean, not impossible, but it would be really cool. And it would definitely be probably a 3-movie series.
Yeah.
I could only assume. Or at least 2 movies, because it's really...
It would make sense to break it into 3 parts.
There's kind of 3 parts.
Yeah.
With a pretty climactic ending, and with a lot of CG.
Yeah.
I'm sure, because there's some pretty epic in-game battling that happens.
Yes, indeed.
At some point. So, anyway, that book, I fell in love with that book, and I gobbled that up in a very short period of time.
I guess he has, like, another one coming out this summer or something.
But not related to that?
No, as far as I know, anyway. It's called Armada, I think, but I don't... It hasn't come out yet, so I don't know what's about.
Yeah. Ernest Cline owns a DeLorean DMC-12.
Yeah. I saw that.
And he has it modded to look like the car
Back to the
from
Future.
film. God damn, huh? Second novel, Armada, will be released summer 2015.
2015, okay.
Yeah, and the Armada has already Wow.
Yeah,
this
I know,
guy
right?
is insane.
He's already optioned like the movie rights to it or something. Or?
Klein has announced the sale of the film rights to Armada to Universal Pictures for a 7-figure sum.
Oh,
holy crap! And the book's not even out yet.
Yeah.
It's going to be big.
Then again, Ready Player One hit pretty big, if I recall, at least in the nerding area.
I would like to mention, Adam, in 1996, Ernest Cline wrote a sequel to Buckaroo Banzai.
I know. I saw that too, and I was so... I don't know.
It's available free online, so you could give it a read.
I should, because I think I was the only person when we tried to watch that who actually liked it.
So he's written a couple screenplays as well, and... he's actually hired to write the screenplays for Ready Player One and Armada. So
that's good.
So he'll write his own screenplay. So he'll figure something out then.
Yeah.
He's not handing it off to some Hollywood types that'll ruin it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although so much of that book also is just the person's like inner thoughts and monologue.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be hard. I don't know, man. Mm-hmm. Hard to do.
Book to film's tough.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, I did.
One of my favorite books that I've read all year. So. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I think I read that last year, actually, but whatever. Indianapolis. So have you ever gone on a terribly boring vacation? What, like, I'm just trying to think of, like, maybe not vacation, but, like, a trip you had to go on, and it was, like, the most boring place possible?
Not really.
I have one. You went with me. We went to the Odyssey of the Mind Worlds.
That was fun, though.
In Ames, Iowa.
Well, yeah, I was in Ames, but I mean, we still had like lots of fun on that. It wasn't boring.
We did, but it wasn't the same caliber of fun that we had when we went to Colorado.
I guess that's true.
Or we didn't have days of school missed driving across the country.
Yeah.
God, that was fun.
That was fun.
What else was there? Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I've always hated to go on business trips. Like, I went to Minneapolis on one business trip, and there's nothing there. It was in the winter, too, so it was cold. It was like, I
think I would have had that issue if I hadn't stayed with my dad, but since
there you go.
Since I got to hang out with him, it was okay. Like I said, I didn't spend that much time in Indianapolis. I was there inside the hotel, and then I went back to his place.
Yeah, so. I mean... At least I could bring a laptop to the hotel, and have like video games to play while I'm bored. I
watched the Avengers with my dad, and he had not seen it. I could not.
He had not. Did he like it?
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's watched some of the other ones, but I was amazed that he hadn't seen the Avengers yet. Because I thought everybody had seen that.
Yeah. Well, pretty much everyone did, according to the sales figures.
Exactly. Especially if you're interested in that kind of stuff, and he kind of is. He's seen a bunch of the other ones. So.
He liked it though.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep. So, something I've been up to.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a juicer.
Ah.
That's right.
Okay.
Let me start from the beginning.
All right.
So I had seen the documentary Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead.
Yeah.
Which is about juicing, which isn't really as much of a documentary as it is an infomercial for the Breville juicer that he uses.
I know, right?
Because that movie literally turns into an infomercial about that juicer and how to buy it, I believe, at the end.
I think it does.
Yeah, almost certainly. And also it's terrible because it's full of buzzwords like micronutrients and non-scientific words.
Right.
But the gist of it is somewhat correct.
And the results kind of speak for themselves.
Well, not really.
He lost a lot of weight. That guy.
Yeah, but he also drank nothing but juice for 30 days.
Well, yeah.
And when you don't eat food for 30 days, you'll lose weight.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it wasn't like he wasn't eating food. I mean, he didn't eat technically, but
he didn't eat calories.
He did ingest calories, though. I mean, he wasn't starving.
Not many.
He wasn't starving.
Probably under 1,000 a day.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, because people like throw all kinds, like whole apples and like a lot of stuff.
But I've read a glass of juice, calorie wise, is going to be between 200 to 300 calories at the most. So if you're drinking 4 or 5 of those a day, you're going to be getting close to 1,000 or a little over, and that's like third world starvation eating, which is why you lose the weight.
Well, yeah.
No,
well,
what it is,
it is, but like we only need 2,000 to keep.
What it is,
keep weight.
What it is a good way to get vitamins and minerals from vegetables and fruits. If you're someone who doesn't like vegetables and fruits,
yeah.
I like vegetables a lot. I eat them all the time. I love vegetables, but I don't like fruit very much.
I'm the opposite.
I don't like fruit because I don't like the textures in fruit. Because fruit's always either like too squishy or I don't know. The pulp and the oranges gets in my teeth, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like you can eat a carrot, you crack that up, not in your teeth, in your mouth.
It's true.
That's carrots.
I guess
they don't get any of that business up in your teeth. Not like eating a blackberry.
Celery does.
A mouthful of seeds. Bullshit.
Celery is the worst vegetable.
What is
celery?
Oh yeah, celery is terrible. It's not even good for you. So
no, it doesn't even. It
has almost nothing in it.
It has nothing in it. It's water.
It's just celery.
It takes more
flavor.
calories to eat than it gives you.
Yes, exactly. Because it's mostly water. Yeah. The chewing of it burns more calories than it adds to your meal. So it's essentially zero, if not negative.
But I guess it has a lot of fiber.
It does. It does have a lot of
fiber. That's basically all it is. It's fibrous plant material.
Yep. It's like shit you normally wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I made a juice. I'm drinking a juice right now, actually, that I made earlier.
Is that a mean green? As they call it?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
It's a green juice, if Adam can see it in the video.
I can.
It's, so I put in handful of spinach, or a little bit of that, some carrots, a handful of carrots, and half a cucumber. And then to that, to make it delicious, I added an apple, and I added a Valencia orange and a lime.
Wow.
And some blueberries.
Wow.
So it's like an entire fruit
salad
plate in a drinkable form. And juice isn't the ideal way to eat fruits and vegetables because you don't get any of the fiber.
Yeah.
Which is a good part of fruits and vegetables, but honestly, if you're not gonna eat them anyway because you don't like the texture, you might as well get it somehow. Is my thought. But anyway, I got this juicer. It was a Black & Decker juicer on Amazon. It was $30. So I know that Breville job in that fucking documentary is like $400, $500 or some nonsense.
They have different versions. I think you can get them for $200, but it's still crazy.
Well, it is expensive, but they are worth it. Those big juicers because, like with the one he had in that movie, is you can throw full vegetables in it, like throw a whole apple in. You know what I mean?
Right.
With my juicer, you can't really do that because
slice it up and
it's got a smaller inlet port, so you have to chop everything up ahead of time, which takes up a lot of time. But I don't mind. And to save $170 on something I didn't know I was going to use a lot is probably a good idea.
And that's probably why I would never juice, is because, for one thing, you mentioned 8 different things that you put in it, and I would not want to take the time to search out those things in the store. And
I bought 2 grocery bags full of just vegetables and fruits.
Exactly. And then, that's the thing, though, too. A lot of vegetables doesn't make a ton of juice. When you juice stuff, you lose.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, again, that juice concoction I just mentioned, filled up a pint glass.
Right. Exactly.
With juice.
Right.
Oranges give you a lot of juice for the buck.
Right.
Apples as well, but spinach is not a lot. There's not a lot in blueberries. Not a lot in carrots. So. Yeah, you don't get a lot of bang for your buck, but it's pretty good. And the juice that comes out tastes really good. I like it a lot. So
that's never been my problem. I always thought those juice things taste pretty good.
Yeah.
I occasionally get those naked juices at the store.
Yeah, those are kind of healthy, depending on which ones you get.
Yeah.
I think the green machine's the good one. Everything else is negligible. Because the green machine, I think, is the only one with vegetables in it.
Yeah.
I think that has spinach and green algae and broccoli in it, if I remember.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's good for you, though. So I've just been trying to drink. I've successfully, since I got it on Wednesday, had a glass of juice every day.
Cool.
So I'm trying to do that.
How much is that? I'm curious. How many? If you had a glass of juice every day since when?
Since Wednesday.
So that's 3, then, or 4?
4. It's Saturday.
Okay. So how much vegetables and stuff have you gone through in those 4 days?
Not a ton.
No.
Maybe. I mean, the amount of stuff I bought will last a week and a half, maybe 2.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
And vegetables are cheap as fuck. Like a cucumber is 59 cents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a bag of apples is like $5, and that's.
I was just wondering how much it would cost if that's like all you did for.
Oh, a ton. Especially if you buy organic vegetables, which.
Well, yeah, that's not happening.
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'm very anti-organic.
Me too.
No offense to people that want to be healthy, but organic food.
It's not healthier.
It's not healthier.
So, yeah, I don't mind offending them.
I'm sorry.
If they're not,
it's just not. Like, there's no scientific evidence that say this orange is better for you because it didn't have insecticide on it.
Right.
I know that sounds bad, but when you go to science, there's no difference.
Exactly. Which is why I plan on going to science alone and just skipping food altogether.
Oh, yes.
For chemical powders.
That's right. We talk about that for a minute. The whole concept.
I've ordered a week's worth of Soylent, which is developed, I guess, by like a programmer or something.
Soylent, if you haven't seen it, was a Kickstarter thing, right?
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter. I learned it actually a little bit before that. They decided to kickstart it. But yeah, basically it was just this guy who, did some research on what the human body actually needs to function chemically. Like your daily
all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the fiber, all the everything.
Everything that you need to function correctly. This
is like the Jetson pills.
Basically, yeah. He just, instead of deciding to go find an actual, natural food source for these things, he wanted to do it just with basically chemicals.
Yeah.
Like he wants, vitamin supplements put in there, maltodextrin stuff for like carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And
it's like literally scientifically, well, not scientifically, because it's just some programmer guy.
Well, once they got the Kickstarter, they did a bunch of they hired nutritionists.
Okay. So they got some real experts in there to double check everything.
Yeah. Once they decided to actually sell it, yes. But yeah,
Adam,
basically,
is it people?
It is not people.
Okay.
And in fact, it's even not a whole lot of soy.
Wow.
Yeah. There's not a ton of soy in there.
Is it vegetarian and vegan friendly?
I think they do have a vegan version friendly, but I think they're trying to make the whole thing vegan eventually. But right now it uses fish oil stuff, I think, for omega-3 fatty acids.
Well, there's a lot of
which is hard to get vegetarian.
Yeah, there's a lot of vegan people that are okay with just fish oil, fish oil pills just because it's kind of one of those things you can really only get from fish.
Right. Currently they still have it separated because people who are hardcore.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Yeah, they do that, but yeah, basically that's the only ingredient that really is non-vegan anyway. And I think the only soy they actually use is soy lecithin, which is something that helps
bind it.
Helps bind it, so it's a smooth mixture.
And it looks like a glass of semen.
I guess you could say that.
It does.
I was going to say like a vanilla milkshake, but
it's also translucent-y.
A little bit.
And goopy.
Bit. It's a little goopy.
It's pretty bad looking. Do you know? Did they say what it tastes like?
Not super great. But
there's no flavors to it.
Mostly, they said it tastes kind of a little bit chalky, I think. But they're working on
because the calcium in it.
Yeah. But they're also the texture wasn't very good. It tasted kind of like sandy as well. But I guess from what they've been saying on the blog, they're replacing that with the protein with rice protein, and I guess they have a company that has a certain technique to make it like thinner, so it's supposed to actually make the texture a lot better.
All right.
So the stuff that I'm getting should not be quite as bad. Biggest thing for me with this has just been I think the Kickstarter ended like a year and a half ago or something. It's been forever. They've had a ton of delays, but I mean,
like every Kickstarter project.
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't have a company to start out with, really, and this thing just kind of skyrocketed in popularity. So they've had some problems. They've had some sourcing issues and stuff like that. But finally, they're packing shit up and sending it out. The vegan stuff has already been sent out, I think, and now they're starting on the non-vegan stuff. So they're also sending out the larger packages first, like people who ordered like a month's supply or whatever.
Yeah.
I ordered a week, so I probably.
So you're last on the pecking order.
Basically, because I guess they want to do it that way so they can keep reorders for people to reorder. They'll have like a steady flow. Way. Yeah. So I should be getting mine towards the end of the month, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm trusting science with this and just saying, chemicals are chemicals. The body breaks that stuff down into that anyway. Just gonna see how that works. The guy himself has lived on it for quite a while at this point. I mean, not just that, but
yeah. He's been testing it out himself for a while.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, you could just live on it alone, but he just eating's kind of a social thing too. So
that's true. When you got to go out to dinner, kind of can't just be like, let me get my bucket of semen. And drink it in front of everyone.
Right. And
sir.
And there is something to be said for taste. I mean, even they've said they're trying to make it as taste neutral as possible. So it's not something you get tired of.
Yeah.
Because if something has a specific taste, you get tired of it pretty quick.
Yeah.
But if it's neutral, you don't, it's just, whatever. And they did suggest doing a couple things. I got some vanilla extract put in there. They said that makes it taste pretty good, actually, like a vanilla shake. So
yeah, that'd probably help out. Mm-hmm. Cool. So that's going to be your future. I can't wait. We can talk about that on the podcast when it arrives. Do they have an estimated date for that at all?
Not yet. They just towards the end of the month. I should be getting it.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, we'll see that.
Yeah. I hope it works because I really need something to do something because
you should just learn how to cook and then
that's just too much work.
It's not.
It is.
There's easy stuff to cook.
I don't want to take that time though. I don't want to cook. I want to do other things.
Yeah, you want to just order it and then eat it when it gets there.
Exactly.
I see.
And if I can just fucking pour shit in a glass and stir it a bit, I mean that's okay.
That'll save time. You have to wash those glasses at them.
That's fine. I can just rinse the glass after I'm done.
Or, knowing you'll buy a bunch of paper cups.
That's a good idea.
Just throw them out when you're done.
I think I don't know, it might come with a pitcher. I don't remember.
A special mixing pitcher?
Yeah, I think they have a mixing pitcher, but I'm not sure.
Wow. Well, you have to let us know when you get that. It'd be interesting to see.
But I need to start eating more healthy, so.
Yeah, don't we all? Oh, my God. Speaking of not eating healthy, Lauren was gone this weekend, so I reverted to my eating all terrible foods while she's gone.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I bought hot dogs because Lauren doesn't like hot dogs. And so in the past 2 days, I've eaten 8 hot dogs. That was my entire meal for 2 days. One day, I had 4 hot dogs for dinner, and today I had 4 hot dogs for lunch.
Excellent.
So good. Oh, I buy the really fancy hot dogs, though.
Yeah?
So I get the natural casing.
Flavor injected, or?
No. I'm talking about like old Wisconsin natural smoked links that come in a big old string of hot dog links.
Very cool.
Those are good. Oh my God! And with the natural casing, that crunch when you bite into them. Mm-hmm. I want more. I have more, but I ran out of buns. Because I think you get 12 or.
I hate that they give you like 6 buns. Per package. And 8 hot dogs.
Yeah, I love Hebrew National hot dogs
because they're kosher and you're Jewish.
No, But they taste good because they're well made and they're expensive and they have better ingredients. But in a package of Hebrew National, you get 7 hot dogs.
No fucking way.
7 hot dogs.
Really?
What fucking nonsense is that?
That is nonsense.
An odd number.
I don't.
You get 8. You get 8 buns or 6 buns, depending on what kind you get. You don't get 7 fucking hot dog buns.
I don't think I've ever gotten a package of hot dogs and buns that were the same amount.
No, never.
I think that's on purpose.
Well, yeah, because I think you usually get like 10 in a hot dog pack, and you get
like it's
8 buns. So
it's never right.
Yeah, I'm going to be eating some of these smoked links without buns because I think I only have 4 left, so that's not enough for another pack of buns.
Bear dogging today.
That's true. I got some hamburger buns left over though, so maybe I'll just crack them in half.
That's the worst. Actually, what's the worst is bread.
Oh my god!
Like, have you ever done that?
Yes.
Before? I have.
Yeah, that's when you know you're desperate.
I know.
You're like, I've got these hot dogs and I've got white bread, and I'll roll it up.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
No, it's disgusting.
Oh, it's a bear. You know what I like?
What?
Give me a plain dog.
I'd much rather have a plain dog.
Because then you get the full taste of the meat. The other day I did ketchup, mustard, and relish.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. But
yeah, that's good shit.
But then today I just had plain dogs because I was like, I just want some plain dogs.
Every once in a while I need a plain dog.
It's true. Well, it reminds me of like when I go to like sporting events and you get like a plain hot dog because you don't want to dick around at the condiment station.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's either a long line or you just want to get back to your seat.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to stand around in the concourse.
Or they have one of those ketchup pumps that, like, you pump it
like,
down,
doesn't
like,
work.
splatters. It splatters, like, ketchup everywhere.
Yes, right. There's no point.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We're talking about hot dogs, and I'm just craving a hot dog right now. They're so good. Oh, man. Oh, hot dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, and the other thing is I was going to order a pizza from a new pizza place that delivers here now, but I didn't.
Oh.
Because I went on their website. All right, so I went it's called Izza Pizza.
Oh.
Itzza Pizza. Izza Pizza.
Oh, man.
Yeah, terrible name. The website looks like it's from, like, 1990. No ordering with credit cards online.
Does it have blank text?
No blinking text or or animated letters or the little construction worker man.
Oh,
gif that's,
man.
This
under construction.
That's right. So, oh my God. So their ordering list looked kind of normal. They got pepperoni rolls, like Gumby's did, and so I'm wondering if this is in the old Gumby's place. Pizza place, because Gumby's Pizza closed down in Madison, and that place was the shit. I loved Gumby's.
It was okay.
It's the best. I loved it because it was cheap as fuck. You got a ton of pizza, and it was for my standards, I thought the quality was good. I liked the crust. They had a really doughy, chewy crust. I loved it.
They have good crusts. I always found it weird though, the restaurants that have like cartoon or I don't know how they got the rights to that. Yeah, it's like who thought Gumby's Pizza would be a thing?
I don't know,
because it actually is. It's not just like Gumby's Pizza, it's Gumby's like with the big green dude. It's that Gumby.
They had pokey sticks, like Pokey from Gumby.
Right. I don't know how that works. Like Popeye's chicken, isn't that like actual Popeye?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gumby's Pizza has a bunch of locations. We're talking Gainesville, Florida, Tallahassee, Florida. It's a very Florida pizza place, I'll say that. A lot of college towns, it looks like.
Yeah.
But, you go to the Gumby's website, and it is Gumby and Pokey in a car eating pizzas.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
But I loved Gumby's Pizza, and now it's gone in Madison. But so this Izza Pizza place, ordering online. The online ordering is weird You can't enter credit card details or anything.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
It's only cash only. So I was like, all right, I'm going to have to go out and get some cash to do this. Build my order. They got wings, so I'm like, I'm going to try the wings. And then I'm going to try, a 10-piece wing. And I'm going to try a specialty pizza. And I don't even remember what it was. It was like maybe chicken barbecue pizza.
Yeah.
Give that a shot. Go to checkout. Put all the things. It was a little complicated and jackassy to get to it. And then I noticed there's no way to pay with a card. And I'm like, fuck. All right, well, I'm willing to pay with cash. I'll have to go out. I'll have to leave my house to get to an ATM. But whatever. I want to try this for the podcast, for you, the listeners. I'm the food guinea pig. And I didn't talk about the juice and how the juice tastes. I just finished off my pint glass, but
it was good.
It is good. It tastes exactly like what you would think it would taste like.
Yeah.
With that, you taste a little bit of the cucumber. You don't really taste the spinach, but it tastes mostly like apple and orange juice mixed together because I put apples and oranges in it, and it tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
The only problem with juicing, you don't know this when you do it. You don't think about it, but when you juice, it's lukewarm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you're taking fruit off the counter,
right?
Or the vegetables in the fridge, but they don't really cool it down that much.
Right.
So, so I made that a couple hours ago and then put it in the fridge for a while. Or you put ice cubes in it. Either way. Or use a chilled glass. But it tastes a lot better when it's cold. Because lukewarm juice is all right, but not as tasty. And the other thing is it's a bitch to clean.
Yeah, I bet.
To clean out that strainer, the knife part is kind of annoying, but... I just have made my resolution is that when I make juice, I will immediately clean it after I make it.
Yeah, that's good policy.
So then that way it's always clean, and I have no excuses. And all you have to do is hand wash. It doesn't take that long. Just the strainer's kind of annoying to clean out, but, you scrub it and it's good. So anyway, it's a pizza. Eats a pizza. Fucking name. All right, so they had a flyer in our apartment complex, so I was like, let's check this place out. Online ordering was weird. I go to check out my online order, and I'm like, whatever, I'll take an hour. I can go to the ATM, get back. And I look at it, my bill, and it's like $24, worth of stuff. Maybe not even $24, like $22 worth of stuff. Add the tax, it's like $24. And then my bill's like $30.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
No.
$3 delivery charge.
Whoa.
What the fuck is up with delivery charges in these places?
I don't know.
So I was like going to order Pizza Hut. $250 delivery charge.
Yeah.
I can't stand this shit.
I know.
Delivery charges, restaurants, I'm saying this right now. I am a consumer I order out takeaway maybe once a week, special dinner once a week, order takeaway. Or not takeaway, but order delivery. I don't order from places that have large delivery fees.
Yeah.
If they do, I'm like, I'm just going to order Glass Nickel. And I hate to harp on how much I love Glass Nickel. $0 delivery fee.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot cheaper. Their pizzas might cost $2 more, but you're not paying a delivery fee. So, that really pisses me off. And I just didn't order it. I was like, fuck it. And I was like, maybe I'll order Pizza Hut. $250 delivery fee. I'm like, this is Pizza Hut, shitty pizza.
Yeah.
$2.50.
Yeah.
$2 is the maximum delivery fee. And I hate paying $2.
I know. It's a pain in the ass.
Falbo, a local pizza joint in Middleton, $1.50. I can accept it. If it's under $2, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, $3 delivery fee is like a third of the price of the wings, if not even like half the price of the wings I'm ordering.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what the fuck?
It's crazy.
Fucking delivery places. And that's my rant.
It's funny you should mention pizza delivery.
Toppers, fuck you. Still. They never responded to my email.
I bet.
Anyway. What were you going to say?
It's funny you should mention pizza delivery because I actually haven't had pizza in a long time. I actually got it tonight. I got Rosati's. Yeah.
Ooh, they have a delivery fee though, don't they?
I think they have like a $2 delivery fee.
That's pretty industry standard. It's when they overreach.
Yeah.
It's like $2 is acceptable because I'm already have to pay a $3 tip. That's $5 onto my order already.
Yeah.
And that's the most I want.
Yeah, I know.
When I'm talking about like a $6, I mean, it's like, come on.
Yeah, what's the point?
What's the point? It's your fucking delivery place that delivers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody's going into goddamn Pizza Hut and sitting down and eating a pizza. I'm not going to drive to Pizza Hut to pick up a goddamn pizza.
Right.
What's the point? If I'm going to drive somewhere, I'll go somewhere nice.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck? Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
But yeah, I got that, and it was good.
Rosati's
Although
is amazing.
I hate it whenever I order rosatis because I love eating it hot. It's not as good cold, and
it's not. It doesn't.
And I
reheat.
can only eat like a third of it in one sitting.
Yeah.
So I have one good meal with it, then I have like 2 more meals that are just like, ugh. Like, this doesn't taste that great now, and I have to eat it because I paid fucking $30 for this, and it's gotta last me 3 meals.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's
I
how
sit
it works.
there like, ugh, why? I'm never doing this again. And then I do, like, a month later.
God, talk about Falbo's. That is the best pizza place, man. And I next time you come up here, you gotta try it.
I've had it before. Isn't that what we got at D&D? Or no, we got
no, that's Pizza Extreme.
That was pretty good, actually.
Pizza Extreme is pretty good.
No, I'm pretty sure I've had Falbo's before. I don't know. All those kind of run together for me, like
it's my absolute favorite
Gumby's,
pizza place.
Falbo's.
I mean, I love Glass Nickel, but Glass Nickel has a lot more than pizza, and that's what I like about them. If I want just a real good pepperoni pizza, I gotta go Falbo's because they use a brick oven, so like the bottom's nice and crunchy, and it's like New York style, real floppy, big slices. I love it. That's the best.
I don't know. I have a hard time getting regular pizzas anymore, like non-specialty ones, because they just
it just doesn't do it for me anymore.
They're always just too greasy. Like even I got pepperoni with the rosatis and
no Italian beef.
Well, I always get Italian beef, and I was like, I want to try something different. And I like pepperoni.
God, next time I come down there, we're having Italian beef rosatis.
Oh my God.
It is the best.
It is the best, and it'll be fine because you'll be down here and you'll be able to eat the other half of it.
Yeah. So tonight I went to Gino's.
Yeah.
Which is like really close. I can
walk
walk
the Mafia one.
Yeah, the Mafia one.
Or they only.
It's not Mafia.
Or they only take cash.
They don't only take cash. There's a discount.
I don't know how I guess that's how that started up. But I remember, like, there being the whispers and rumors that they only take cash, and it was like a Mafia front.
I mean, if it's a Mafia front, they're doing a pretty good job putting up a front because I don't see anyone there that isn't someone who's working on making food. But then again, I guess I can't see the back room, like the cooler room, like in Sopranos where they're all hanging out. I love that place though, and I got a hot Italian beef sandwich with hot gardeniera dipped in au jus.
That sounds good. They have great stuff, but they're a little expensive for me.
No.
Why did you sound like Mario?
My
there?
sandwich,
no,
it's a pizza.
It's not too expensive.
Oh, it's Gino's. We are not run by the mob. Put the mob away. There's people in the back. I love Gino's. And, Italian beef sandwich dipped in the sauce so that the bread is soaked. The hard Italian roll is soaked in juice. And you can't even eat it without it falling apart in your hands is amazing. I love it. Oh, I love that place. And I got some pasta salad, too.
Yeah.
But I got a tub of pasta salad and a sandwich, and it was $10. I don't know. Not that expensive.
They put olives in their pasta salad, don't they?
No, not the one I got. I got the Cajun chicken.
Oh, okay.
Which is good. It has pineapples in it. But I like it.
Sounds good.
It's really good. It's an amazing pasta salad. It's almost the reason why I go there sometimes. But anyway, so that's my food story.
Cool.
All right, we talked quite a bit here. All right. Television. Adam, you said you saw a movie.
I did. In fact, I watched it today.
Well, all right. What spurred this on?
Well, we talked about it a little bit, a couple episodes back. the Criterion Collection.
Oh, yeah, the Criterion Collection on Hulu. No commercials, right?
Yeah, you are correct. There is no commercials.
That is awesome.
At least on Criterion Collection. Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
And I watched Rashomon. By Akira Kurosawa.
Correct. That is in my top 10 movies of all time.
Yeah. And because I haven't really seen a lot of Kurosawa.
No.
I mean, it's one of those things that everybody says he's amazing, and I like Japanese films. I like old Japanese films.
Yep.
And I've seen, I don't think I've actually seen it all the way through, but I've seen at least parts of Seven Samurai. And
Seven Samurai is almost 4 hours long.
Yeah, I thought about watching that, but then I was like, I just don't know if I can,
sit on your chaise lounge for 4 hours.
Because I remember watching it once. I watched it for like an hour and a half or something, and I looked at like the time left, and it was like 2 hours, and I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. And the thing is, like, the problem with Seven Samurai I have is that so many things have done it since then.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's one of the stories that's like that and Yojimbo.
Yeah, they're the originator of that story.
Yeah, exactly.
So it
and
feels
those have been
tired,
done,
but it
and
isn't.
redone. Yeah, they've just been done and redone so many times that I kind of feel like it's hard to watch the original because I've seen it distilled so many times that I kind of know what the gist is, and it's so long.
Yeah, it loses a bit of that luster because you know the story so well.
Yeah, but that's not to say it's not good. It's really good. So I watched Rashomon, which is one that I had not seen, and one that I kind of knew what the gist of was, but had never seen it.
You knew the basics.
And yeah.
So run down the basics.
So 1950, before Seven Samurai and all that.
Yep.
It's the story of 4 different sides of one event that happens. The murder of a samurai, or at least a guy with a sword, and
it was a samurai. He was a samurai in name only, as he wasn't really a swordsman, but that was kind of the era of the time where if you were like an official or a lord, you were known as like a samurai, even though you're just some fancy guy who has a sword and doesn't know how to use it.
Well, him and his wife walking down the road, and this bandit attacks them. And
recently married, if I'm correct.
They were married. It doesn't say recently.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. She's wearing a veil, but that's not. I don't think because they were recently married. It's just because I don't know. So
she felt like veiling it up.
I suppose.
All right.
So they couldn't see how beautiful she was, or whatever.
Sure.
Because people might get lewd thoughts if they could see your face. Anyway. So it's the recounting of the story from different perspectives. From the bandit who kills the samurai, the wife of the samurai himself speaking from beyond the grave through a medium.
Yep.
And then finally you get the real story from an observer. And I gotta say, it's an old movie, and you can tell it's old. I mean, from the second it starts, like this is an old movie, but it's still really captivating.
Oh, good. I was worried where you were going.
No, well, I might have a few critiques on it, but I mean, I think everything that's not good about that movie is simply because the medium
a product of film being different back then.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I mean, in modern days, a lot of that stuff would be edited out. There's a lot of like long shots of stuff.
Well, that's a lot of the style of the film at that time.
Yeah,
and a lot of the style of that filmmaker. He
totally
uses a lot of just beautiful cinematography.
That's true. That's
shots of a rain-soaked temple. There's lots of great cinematography in that movie.
That was one of the things I was going to mention, is that you can definitely tell that the guy is,
He's a pro.
He's a pro. There's a shot where they they show the guy like discovering the body like before you know that he actually saw everything.
Yeah.
And you see it like from perspective of the body. You can like see the hands up in the air like reaching out, and the guy looking down like, oh my god, what the fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like a really kind of striking thing. And then like you'll see these like scenes where the like bandit is recounting his story, or he's
played by
somebody
Toshiro
else.
Mifune.
Yes,
Amazing Japanese actor, one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's really good. He plays that kind of part really.
Oh
good.
yes, the rascal.
Exactly, the rascal. But I mean, like, there's this part where like I think it's the other guy is describing what happened. He's like stating what he thinks happened. The guy who caught him, and like Toshiro Mifune is just like. He seemed like looking up at the sky, and like, of course, all like the shots of him just like fucking looking at the clouds.
Yeah.
And like, what's going on there? Like shots like that, they're like really, I don't know, they're just really kind of inspired, especially for that period of time.
Oh, I know.
Where they're just so artistic, which is something that I think was mostly just not done at that time.
No. When you look at movies from the United States that time. Not to say that they're all bad. I mean, obviously Casablanca, but not a lot was being done, with film in terms of cinematography,
right.
In terms of
until you got to maybe like Hitchcock.
Yes, Hitchcock definitely was one of the innovators.
Right.
Oh my God. I mean, so many like Hitchcock's one of those guys where you can see a shot framed and you're like, that's Hitchcock.
Right.
Whereas
right.
with Kurosawa, you can see shots framed and you're like, that's Kurosawa. Probably because there's Japanese things in it, so it's easy to tell. But, he was kind of... I love that movie, though, because it's just such an engaging plot. Because
I will say, it took me a little bit at the beginning to warm up to it, because...
it's slow at the start.
It's slow at the start.
It's once you start getting into the conflicting stories.
Yes,
you start seeing the third story and the fourth perspective, and you're like, what the fuck really happened? You know what I mean?
But also, the way that he uses the people who are telling the story is super great. Like, that because the guy is kind of like the rascal, too. Like, there's this guy who was the witness.
Yeah.
And then there's the priest. And then there's this guy who just, like, came in out of the rain and is, like, listening to the story.
Yeah.
And you can totally see all their different, like, worldviews together. Like, the priest is like, I'm losing faith in humanity because of this, and I want to believe there's good in the world. And there's this other guy who's just, like, basically the force of chaos that came in, who's, like, kind of bedraggled, kind of looks like a bandit himself, and is, just like, there is no good in the world. Good is an illusion. This is just, like, the world is chaos, and if you believe any otherwise, you're just getting, fucked over. And it's really cool to see, like, these different viewpoints of the story, and then see like how each of the characters who's heard the story
the whole point
interprets it.
The whole point of it is that and it's great. Just the way the world works is that like when you hear a story, it is completely affected by the storyteller. Like, the person who's telling you the story can tell you the exact same events in a completely different way.
Yeah,
one of my favorite moments in that entire movie though is when you see what actually happened.
Yeah.
And you see the battle between the samurai and the bandit, and they are just... I love the way it's staged, because it's clearly they fight like people would fight with swords that don't know how to use swords.
Exactly.
Because they're just kind of like, flailing at each other and not trying to get hit, and it's just really gross, and it feels like dirty.
And in the very beginning, they like don't even get close to each other. Like, they like pull out their swords, and the first thing they do is jump back. And they slowly edge their way in.
Yeah, because they don't want to do it.
And at the first touch of the sword, they both jump back. And But it's also interesting to me to see that not only is the bias on the people who told the story, but to see how each of the different people interpret the story as well, like in the present time. It's a really intricate and kind of just really, I hate to say artsy, but really, really cool look at that kind of...
I'm surprised that movie hasn't been redone.
Perspective.
I mean, that concept and that story are ripe for a modern redoing.
They've done a couple of things like that, like where you'll see one person's view and then you'll see like what actually happened or stuff like that. But I don't think they've done like a full-on...
And I think it would be great.
Rashomon.
I mean, how awesome would that be?
It would be really cool.
John Rowe optioning Rashomon reimagined in 1970s New York.
Yeah.
What was his name? Mark Rabinowitz, cop on the beat. He's oh man. He witnesses, or he doesn't witness a murder, but he's the first cop that arrives on the scene.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was pleasantly, I don't know if I would say surprised, but I was a little wary going into it because I did know
older
that,
movies are kind of tough to watch to begin. I mean, this is even earlier because it's Japan, and filmmaking hadn't had the boom that it had in the U.S. in the 30s and 40s. So it was much newer over there, but Kurosawa was ahead of his time, in terms of plot and storytelling. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think he could still probably have benefited from some editing, but I do think that, it was excellently shot, and it's just a really super interesting film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just to think about, how that situation plays out, and, I don't know. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
It's really good.
I like it even more than Seven Samurai.
And so I've been thinking about doing something, and just maybe once a week, grabbing one of those Criterions. I think I might start at least with Kurosawa.
Well, hey, if you want to name one, I'll watch it.
Yeah?
Yeah, and the listeners can watch it, and we'll talk about it.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
Get some culture up in here.
We got to pick out one while we're talking, though, right now.
Yeah.
So that it's on the air, and then we both watch it.
Right. We could do Seven Samurai, although that might want to work up to that one.
Yeah, maybe.
I saw one there that was, Lance had said he was, I think, one of his favorites, and I saw it there, and they're related in Hulu.
Okay.
Throne of Blood.
Okay, yeah, I've seen Throne of Blood, but I'll watch it again.
Okay. I have not seen Throne of Blood.
Oh my God.
Interesting.
Well, you know the story.
Not really.
Oh, you do, because it's Macbeth.
Oh, yeah. I think Lance did say that. Yeah.
It's Macbeth, which is something that Kurosawa did, was he loved Shakespeare, and he redid Shakespeare in a feudal pre-Meiji, or what is it? Is it Meiji era Japan? Oh my God.
Meiji era is the peaceful era where they took away the swords.
Pre-Meiji era stuff.
Pre-Meiji.
And it's all samurai. So it's like Shakespeare with samurai, and I love it. He did the other movie,
Warring States period.
Ron, another movie he did, is King Lear is based on.
I haven't seen either.
That's really good too. I love that movie. Throne of Blood's awesome though, and we'll watch it. So
cool.
Throne of Blood. Be prepared for some amazing Toshiro Mifune acting, because he is the main character.
Yes,
it is awesome.
Good.
I love that movie. Yeah, and part of me wishes that Kurosawa would have had more of a chance to do more Shakespeare, because there are some Shakespeare stories. When I was in college, I was in a set design class, and I had designed a set and costumes for a Kurosawa-inspired retelling of Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, and it's, because Midsummer Night's Dream, with a pre-Meiji era Japan aspect, because you've got and you could have, I don't know, I'd have to look up in Shinto culture, though, but you could have, Shinto wood sprites, and all sorts of awesome,
Probably have, foxes.
Exactly. That was one of my costume designs, I believe I had the Oberon was like an Amaterasu kind of fox guy.
Oh, fuck.
And Adam has disconnected.
What?
Adam, you disconnected a little bit there.
Did I?
This is why you shouldn't record on a laptop. Adam.
This is bad.
Adam,
but
get off the fucking Chase Lounge. You're on you're sitting there with the laptop on your lap that you're constantly moving and shifting around, and you have a cord plugged in that doesn't latch, so you could get disconnected at any moment.
Listen, if it was latched, there wouldn't be a problem.
Did you not learn from your Radio Shack fucking experience with that dongle breaking off in your Mac? You gotta be, I don't know, get like a table to set this on or something.
I could try next time going from my desk.
Just a thought.
I guess.
Just a thought. It hasn't been a problem, but I was worried there for a moment.
No, it would be fine.
So anyway, okay, I have one more topic I want to talk about. So that was a great movie. We'll watch Throne of Blood.
Yes.
Watch it for next week, and we'll talk about it. All right. I want to talk about television shows that are on TV right now.
Okay.
What I want to take your temperature. What is your confidence rating in the Game of Thrones television show?
I didn't see last week, actually. I haven't caught up on it yet.
Oh, Adam. How am I going to talk about it?
You mean this last episode? Is it specifically this last episode?
Yeah. Specifically the last episodes where my confidence rating for the show has lowered.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, you can't really spoil it too much for me, so go ahead and just, I guess, let me know.
Well, I don't want to spoil the show because I know a lot of people don't get HBO, and if you don't have HBO, you can't watch the show.
Well, what has made you worried about it? What made your confidence drop?
Well, the last episode was probably approximately 10% from the books.
Really?
There were a couple major diversions from the books.
Really?
Including involving Bran's storyline.
Really?
Intersecting with Jon Snow's storyline.
That happened.
Not
briefly.
in the way that it's going to possibly happen in the movie, the show.
Really?
Like them meeting.
No, they met in the book.
Yeah, but not in this way.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, so another thing that's come up, and then this is something I had a discussion with someone else, and I feel like the show is kind of going off the rails a little bit in some ways, because I think that they got really excited about the reactions from the fans.
Yeah.
And the show is adding some more sensationalist stuff to it.
Oh, really?
Like well, when you think about this, it's been going on for a while. I mean, the stuff with Theon from last season, all that torture sequences, none of that's in the books. It's implied, and sometimes I feel like the show goes for a ridiculous shock value, and it's like the shock value is in the fact that you get to know and love these characters, and terrible things happen to them.
You talking about like the Viper stuff, maybe?
A little bit. There's something new in this newest episode that deals with the Craster's Keep people.
Oh, yeah.
That in the books are never mentioned again. But now they're going to have a storyline, and there's a lot of raping. That it's just like, sometimes I feel like the show is gratuitous to be gratuitous. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I'm worried that they're going to keep moving in a direction.
I can understand that.
The books are very gratuitous, but they're also books.
Yeah.
So you're visualizing it in your mind. And also, a lot of times, like the rape and the pillaging and stuff is all stuff that's implied. It's like, this shit happened when they did this. This is the kind of stuff that goes on in this world. Whereas the show throws it in your face a lot.
I guess.
And to a point where it's interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm worried, I don't know, that it's going to get... I'm just worried because when I compare it to my favorite show on television, Mad Men, where these things do not happen, the thing I love about Mad Men is how little it does to be sensational.
Yeah.
Where Mad Men is much more of a show about characters and about their dialogue and about putting scenes together, and like the drama from episodes are little things that are relatable and interesting. And they've had so many seasons to build up these characters that, I mean, I could spend hours talking about, you know, what Betty Draper did and how that reflects the type of person she is and her motivations and how terrible, you know, she is and how she doesn't want to be, you know, bad, but she can't help herself. I mean, whereas Game of Thrones is about, you know, oh, this guy got stabbed in the face. Look at that. Sometimes.
I don't know. Is it that way, or is it just that way because you've read the books and you know much more about the characters' thoughts and stuff?
I I don't know. But I mean, there's no Mad Men books. And they do a pretty good job of getting you to know the characters' motivations through the cinematography and the action.
I mean, yeah, but you don't think Game of Thrones is doing that at all? I don't know. I hear people talk about, who've just seen the show, talk about that kind of stuff.
Maybe that's the curse of being a book reader. But
I am worried if they're diverging.
But sometimes when I talk to those people and they talk about this, and it's like, I don't know if you know these characters as well as you should. Like, ask people what they think about Cersei,
Yeah.
If you've read the books, you kind of feel a little bad for Cersei. Where in the show...
I don't know if I've ever felt that bad for Cersei.
But you do a little.
I don't think I really...
The books do a pretty good job of setting her up as a character who was put in a horrible situation she didn't want to be in.
Yeah.
And is trying her hardest, if not in a very misguided way, to save her and her own. And I think in the books you feel that, whereas in the show, she seems evil.
They've done some stuff in the show I don't know.
And that's what I love about the books is there really aren't that many like evil people. There are.
Other than Joffrey.
Joffrey. There is Tywin.
I think Tywin is less evil than...
Yeah, he's less evil in the show, for sure.
Yeah. Even in the books, though, I think he's less evil than...
He's pretty evil.
Cersei.
But you do feel a little bit bad for him as well, because, I mean, his wife died, and... It's just kind of interesting, though, because... No, but he is extremely evil, especially the way that his storyline will progress in this season, and you will see some terribly vindictive things he does.
I'm not saying he's a good guy.
Whereas...
I think he's a better leader than...
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But he is a terrible human being.
He's a douchebag, sure.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm just saying I'm worried the show is trying too hard to get that red wedding moment every season and not build a good story with characters and I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like, I don't know. It just bit me last week. Where I was like, really? We're still doing this?
I haven't seen that, but I haven't felt that so far. So I guess I'll say that.
Well, I didn't either until that one episode, and I was like, and it just made me think. And I read a couple articles that were written by people that have read the book. There's an AV Club article, which I hated initially because it's written poorly. She uses the word agency about 70 times in that article. Which is a poor use of that term when she's using it. But she has a point. And the point is the show is going for shock value a lot of times. And a lot of times when you see it's diverging from the books, it's for shock value. And it bothers me because it doesn't need it. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're trying to show that this world is a harsh world.
Yeah.
And it is. In the books, you get a lot more of that just through tales of the world that you hear told from characters. And they kind of have to show that in the show. But I think in the show, since it's so condensed down, it really gets jammed in your face. I mean, there's that scene, all those extra brothel scenes with Peter Baelish, and
to be fair, I think those were added mostly just so you kind of have an idea what he's about. Because in the books, he just stays in the shadows so much.
But you get the idea what he's about this season.
Yeah.
When he becomes a much larger character.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying I'm worried. Whereas like a show like Mad Men I'm absolutely in love with. And this season has been not maybe a return to form because last season kind of didn't have some of the same themes with it because I guess it was a return to the old Don last season.
Yeah.
There's still great stuff though, and that is honestly hands down my favorite show on TV because
I don't know. I haven't seen last week's Mad Men either. I've been catching up.
You got to.
I plan to.
It's a good one.
I'm still catching up in the week.
Actually, we'll just say this: Don confronts the agency.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So some real shit goes down.
Yeah.
And
I will say, like, no show fills me with dread like watching it like Mad Men, though. Like, I love Mad Men, but every time I sit down, like, watch an episode, I'm like, oh, do I really want to watch this? And I'm like, I want to watch it, but, like, that show is just so... It's like you said, you really feel for the characters, and you just know that something's going to happen in the show. You're going to be like, oh, fuck, why did you do this? Or like,
but that's what I love about the show, is that something that happens in the show isn't some fucking raider comes in and rapes their, like, wife. It's like, no, hey, oops, I did something stupid and human that we all have to deal with now.
I know, but I think it's because of that it almost seems more painful to me.
Oh, exactly.
Like when I'm watching it, I'm just every time I sit down, I'm like, I know this is going to be amazing. It's going to be great.
Fantasy.
But I'm like, I know.
It's all terrible reality.
Exactly.
So for a misery vampire like myself,
I know.
I feed on that show.
I know.
So the episode before that had one of my favorite moments in the entire fucking show. Yeah. Is when Sally Draper... So this is all spoilers for this newest season of Mad Men. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I'll try not to be too spoilery, because there's not a lot to spoil in this show, because there's no crazy, oh my god, the king got killed moment. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Robert Baratheon's been slain. Like, there's none of that shit. It's... So when Sally shows up in his office... and he is not there, and everyone freaks out, and it's just the way it is, because she's a little kid, and you can think of this, because you can think back when you're a little kid, and there's all these things above you going on with your parents, with their work and stuff that you have no clue, that's over your head. That's adult stuff, and to her, she's just confused, and the way that they shot it, and Kiernan Shipka, the actress that plays her, does such a good job with this. Just being that lost 13-year-old, I think she might be 14, girl who doesn't know what's going on. And she has lost all of her trust for her dad after what happened in the previous season when she saw him cheating on his wife, his second wife.
Oh, man. That scene was like...
Oh, my God.
The scene with, like, Roger.
Riveting television.
Yeah, and the scene with, like, Roger and that chick's mom.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, I know. Yeah. Poor Sally Draper. She's getting brought into this adult world too fast.
I know.
But I love it, because that is like the essence of what it is to be that age, where you're old enough to know what's going on, but not old enough to understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because she knows what they're doing is bad. She kind of knows a little bit about sex and what's happening, and knows that he's doing something horrible to Megan, who's so nice.
And to tie this together a little bit, it also... I watched Moonrise Kingdom. And when you said that, that reminded me of that, too, because that is like a perfect kind of coming-of-age movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorites in the past decade.
It's an excellent movie.
I've watched it multiple times by myself.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I want to watch it now.
It's really good.
Oh, and
it's kind of like you said, though. It's about kids kind of coming into that adult world and, like... Everything.
You're that age where you want to be grown up, but you don't know how.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Sally's journey has been the past couple of seasons.
Yeah.
But in the most recent episode, not the newest one, but the one that you've seen most recently, episode 3, I think, of the newest season, when she goes to Don's apartment, and she's there, and he's confused, and he lies to her face again. He says he was at the office.
Right.
And it's another lie. Her dad... is awful, and it's just heartbreaking. And then he hears on the phone that she was there, and then they have that long car ride that he drives her, and there's just that moment they eat dinner, and she's not talking to him, and he comes clean again to her. He tells her the truth, or at least parts of the truth,
right,
about what's going on, because she's old enough to know, and he's realizing that. And then she kind of turns around on him, and at the end of the car ride, she says, "I love you," and goes away. And it's an amazing, heart-warming moment, because it's this connection between these two characters that... Yeah. But it's that whole scene where it's that when you're like 13 and I don't know this, but, it's something that I've seen come up multiple times in other forms of fiction and real-life stories. But when you're 13 and your parents... have done bad things or do bad things, but you still have that they're still your dad. You know what I mean? Like, that they're wrong and they do bad things, but they're still your dad, and she still wants him to be her dad, you know, because she doesn't want to completely grow up. You know, she still wants her dad to buy her dinner and give her a ride, you know, and it's just that's what that show does. I can talk about this. Whereas in, like, Game of Thrones, I could talk about that shit in the books, but I feel like the show just doesn't have that depth.
Yeah.
And that might be because it's cramming 7,000 pages of text into, 40 episodes.
Right.
But it's just that's what I love about Mad Men. Is I feel like I'm watching a play every week. Like what's his name? Like an Arthur Miller play every week, you know what I mean? This is Death of a Salesman, just drawn out over 7 seasons. You know.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite plays of all time. I love Death of a Salesman. Have you seen Death of a Salesman?
No.
If you're a misery vampire. It's just all about it's all about a life, a Death of a Salesman. It's the dad who worked all his life for his children, and didn't live a spectacular life. I don't know. I love that play, and I love Mad Men. That's all I have to say. I don't know. I could gush for hours and hours about how much I love that show with the historical fiction and the plots and the just the changing from the start of that show when it's 1960 to like what it looks like now and how different the world is entirely, from in just those 10 short years. Mm-hmm. I love it. Oh, Mad Men. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done exploding about Mad Men.
I don't know what my favorite TV show is right now.
Mad Men's mine.
Mad Men's up there. I don't know. I watch the one that I watch, the two actually that I watch faithfully as soon as I can see them are Supernatural and Arrow right now.
But another good show that recently ended was Breaking Bad.
Yeah, that probably would have been.
The reason why I like that show so much, and sometimes I feel like I hate to be a fan of that show, just because of some of the culture around that show, and people are like wearing Heisenberg T-shirts and like all this Breaking Bad merchandise, and it's cool to like him because he's a bad guy, and it's like that's not the point of the show.
Yeah,
the point of the show is that he's a deep down just a bad guy.
I don't know if that's exactly the whole point of it.
He's a bad guy with good intentions.
Yeah.
And I love that show because it does all of the things that Mad Men does. It's very subtle a lot of times. Save for one moment. At the end of season 4 or 5 when Gus Fring is killed. And the show moved into a fantasy world in which a man who is blown up can turn and fix their tie while they have half of a skull face.
It's funny you mentioned that because I think I was rewatching that at some point with other people.
That's a jump the shark moment.
It is.
But the show didn't jump the shark.
Right, it didn't jump the shark. But
because they knew after they did that that was too far.
Every time I see that, it's ridiculous.
It's too far. It's
too far.
It's comical. And it's like, I understand you want that character to be a little bit mystical because he kind of is. But it went too far in that show, and it bothered me a lot when I saw it. And and that's what I'm worried about Game of Thrones. That they're going to that necktie turning face moment, and they're not gonna say that was too far.
Maybe
we'll see. If they stick to the books, they'll be good.
I know.
I'm just worried.
People stick to books.
This last episode, it continues to diverge from the books, where I'm going to have to know 2 separate storylines.
Yeah, I hate that.
Like what happened in the show versus what happened in the books. So far, it's been minor shit, differences, where they combine characters, just to have less characters, they have, just to simplify things, and that's fine. I mean, whatever. It's not that weird. But, when I feel like they might be changing major plot events. And I'm worried.
I hope not.
As much as it will help Bran's storyline have something in it.
That's because Bran's storyline does nothing for like 3 books.
If you've read the books, 2 words. acorn paste. In the books, there are just chapters and chapters. So those who've seen the show kind of know what Bran's up to, but he's kind of journeying to north beyond the wall, and all of his chapters in the books are literally like him and his companions like half starving to death in the cold. And then nothing really happens other than the fact that they walk a couple meters and are still starving. And it's boring.
It is really boring.
It does move to an interesting, point, but in the middle there, it was like if the hobbits journeyed to fucking Mordor and they just got ran out of food. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah.
There's a huge plot thing that I can tell you about after this.
That reminds me, though, isn't there something... I seem to remember there being something with... I know it's coming up because Roose Bolton just sent his son, Ramsay, to Moat Cailin.
Yep.
And I seem to remember something happening at Moat Cailin, but I thought it involved, Jojen and...
I don't even know, dude. They moved.
But they're nowhere near there now. They're way far north. Too far north for that.
They're past the wall.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I don't know.
All right. I think that's it. I think that's everything we got to talk about.
Yeah. Cool.
It's a good hour and a half.
Cool.
I think, so if you want to check us out, website, Adam?
BornInThe80s.net.
.net. Don't go to BornInThe80s.com.
No.
Someone's probably squatting on it.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, of course. But BornInThe80s.net. And you can send comments there. You can click on the stories, links. And you can also subscribe on iTunes. If you do, give us a 5-star rating if you like the show. That really does help us out with getting visibility. Other than that, feel free to email us in. If you have any thoughts on Game of Thrones or Mad Men or watch movies or want to suggest a classic Criterion movie for us to watch that isn't Kurosawa, or maybe one that is that we don't know about, feel free to send that in. And we will catch you next week. So homework, watch Throne of Blood.
Yeah.